What is up YouTube? Nikos here from NGFX and welcome to my Photoshop tutorial. Today we're gonna be making this super dope design, kind of like Salvador Dali painting, kind of like objects floating in the air, some kind of aliens trying to find the light is. And I also really like how the simple modern text goes with this design. I think it's like super cool and it's pretty cool to make, and the process is super nice, as well as the outcome. And you can actually, print this out and have it as a poster. You have yourself a really cool decoration for your room, your office, or wherever you want to put it. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is you want to copy my color palette. Okay, so we're going to be using 4 colors for this design, and if you want to go with your own colors, that's totally fine. The one thing I would recommend highly though is have at least one color to be the brightest, really bright color, something like this, and one dark color, okay? Because it's pretty important, and you will find out why in the tutorial. And also I highly recommend having red in the design, because it gives it like this is like super dominated by red, and it wouldn't be the same effect if it wasn't for the red. So I highly recommend having red in there, and green you can have anything you want, you can switch. So go ahead and copy the hex codes. They are in the video's description below. Once you've done that, we can begin doing this together. So the first thing you want to do is create another layer and call it gradient, because we're going to create a gradient background. Now the whole point of using gradient here is like you want to have the radial gradient, which is the second option, which basically makes the gradient from center to outside. Okay. Now you want to select your first color or your foreground color, your primary color, to be the brightest, and then you might want to go with like red as your secondary color. Okay, but make sure you select the brightest as the first color, and I'll show you exactly why. And I'm gonna stretch it out somewhere like that. That looks cool. So what I'm trying to achieve with this effect is like some kind of light source coming in from somewhere. So I want the red to dominate the space, but also give the bright color some kind of importance. So it looks like the source of light. So I wanted to create that effect here. So you can try to kind of make the perfect angle for this one. I'm gonna go with this. I'm pretty satisfied with what I see right now. So the next step, we want to go for create our first circle. So let's go ahead and create another layer, and I'm gonna call this splatter 1. Okay, you'll find out why. And go ahead and select your elliptical marquee tool, which is right here, or press M on your keyboard, and then just make a perfect sphere or a perfect circle by holding down your shift key, and just create it somewhere like that. It's pretty cool. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to select, you want to make sure that you deselect your primary color, like the brightest color. We're not going to be using it until the very end. So let's select another color, like dark color. So red and the darkest color that you have will go really well here. And go ahead and make another gradient, this time on the circle only. So I'm gonna do something like that. That looks cool. I'm also going to try actually to make sure that the brighter color, so in this case red, is facing the light source, meaning that it's going to create this kind of a shadow effect, that the dark color is going to seem like it's shadow, and it's going to feel more as if the light is coming from that side. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one here is we're gonna duplicate it twice. Okay, so we now have 3 layers, same exact layers of three circles, and we're gonna just group them together, call it splatter. You can call it whatever you want. You can call them elephant, night vision goggles, jawbreaker, whatever you want. You know, it doesn't really matter as long as you call it something and it means something to you and it has a name. Doesn't really matter what it is. What we want to do here is we want to go and start making the magical kind of shapes here. So how you do this is pretty simple. Go to filter, go to distort, and then click wave. And this is where the cool stuff happens. So you don't have to have the exact numbers that I have here, because I'm gonna mess around with them while we do this, just to make the shape that I'm happy about. But generally, you want to keep number of generations somewhere, somewhere here, somewhere just here, and then wavelength somewhere here, and then definitely make sure that your horizontal and vertical scroll bars, or whatever these are totally up to 100%. And then definitely also make sure that the type is selected to sign, not square, sign. And then that doesn't change much, but yeah, anyway, the whole point of this one is like it kind of randomly generates you kind of splattered shape out of your circle. So once you're satisfied with what you see here, just click OK, and here we have our own very own first splatter effect. I call them splatter. I'm not sure if that's the correct word to use it, but this is not an English grammar syntax whatever tutorial, so we don't really care. The next thing you want to do is basically do the same thing for the for the rest of the circles. So go to filter, distort, and wave, and just make sure you generate something else. And if you click randomize, it's gonna randomize for you. And if you're getting something too similar, you can just mess around with the wavelength. That's the guy you want to go for. Like that's the shape that really switches up, that kind of warps the shapes in the way that you want. And of course, you can also just this is really cool. You can also just kind of switch it around and mess around with it this way. And also, what I want to do here is make sure that the brightest colors are kind of facing our light source. So what I mean by light source is like this area is the light source. And it's gonna feel like these kind of creatures or objects are trying to see what that like the light emission is. And they kind of look like as if they were curious to find out what's inside, and so that makes the viewer also curious to kind of watch it and look at it. So like kind of questions you, what is this, like the light source? Is there something in there? Actually that was good. I'm gonna leave it like that, and you can also delete the unnecessary parts. Definitely make sure that you don't have any kind of square rectangular objects in there, because we're going totally for a flowy round effect, and that's what makes the design be so friendly, warm, and fluffy, give a fluffy feeling to it. So remove any kind of squares. Now obviously colors, you can leave them while you are working on it. And yeah, the next one, I mean, you can also leave objects like this, make them smaller or whatever, like as if they are planets. That's totally up to you. And I'm just gonna do one more on this one. let's see. So yeah, just kind of mess around with it until I get something that I like. I'm pretty, yeah, I like this. Looks like, it looks pretty quirky. And cool thing about it is that it, you get dimensional effect as well. Like, this one is kind of more front, and then the one in the back is in the back and all that. So yeah, I mean, that works. I guess that works. That's not too bad. And okay, so next thing you want to do is go ahead and select your group and press Control E. That's going to merge all of your shapes that you just created into one single shape. Okay, and why we want to do that is we're going to apply some kind of texture to it. So as you can see, it's kind of plain right now. And now when you add some noise, just so you know, go to noise and add noise, and put in 4.2. This is, I mean, I tried making this design several times, and I feel like this number is, almost, I mean, yeah, pretty much perfect. So I do recommend this number. So go ahead and place it in and look at that texture. It's just so nice. Like, it makes the image so much better. That's what it was before. It's too smooth, too clean, and like looks unfinished. But with the texture, it already has some character to it. The objects have more weight to it and all that. So yeah. Anyway, the next thing we want to do is we want to make some kind of other kind of creatures or objects. So I'm gonna write another name for splatter 2, and this time when making a circle, I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller than the previous one, and instead of choosing the same colors, I'm going to choose our third color, which we haven't used yet, by the way, and pretty much make the same thing here. Okay, and again, I'm keeping in mind the light source. So the light sources are somewhere around here. So the light, will be coming from here, and then I'm gonna bring it down a little bit like this. So it looks like the light is hitting from that side, but obviously I'm going to split this creature or this super perfect circle into pieces right now. So go to distort, wave, and this time I'm gonna go raging, like super, like too much maybe. I don't know, and just make, this time I'm gonna make it like into really small pieces. At least that's what I want it to look like, and so that it kind of looks like it's all over the place, and it's not really working out right now. I don't know why. You just have to mess with it quite a few times before you get what you want. And yeah, I guess that looks all right. Let's see, that looks fine. Gonna press OK, and here we have some kind of green splatter now. So yeah, actually I can duplicate this and have some, more green stuff here hanging around. Just gonna click that and make sure they don't look like each other and they look like they're unique, because that's gonna add more value to your design. Now this looks pretty cool. I really like how they all like turn out to be all over the place. They're all over the place, but they also look very like composition wise, they look really cool. Like how the way they are just put on each other. And so I think I'm gonna go like that, and just delete this one, see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's even better. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna delete that one, get rid of that. Okay, cool. That looks pretty cool. And pretty much we're done with the shapes. No, you can add noise to this, the green splatters as well, but I recommend sticking with like no noise, because one, you have like two different kind of splatters. This is green and this is red, and when you add texture to one and not the other, they feel as if they are different, like different matter. So the green ones feel like it's totally different, made of like different stuff. So for me, it feels like it's more varied, because if we were to add texture to this one as well, it will make it too boring. For me at least. You can go ahead and edit whatever you like, of course, but that's my recommendation. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna just add some text to it. So, you know, find a corner, or maybe you want to put it in the center, I don't know, but I'm gonna just put my text here, and I'm gonna select Posterama Ultra Black for my main text. I'm gonna just, you know, Posterama, just type anything, and I'm gonna put the brightest color we have. This is where it comes back in the game, so I'm gonna choose the brightest color, and yep, there we go, and place it right around here. Maybe make it a bit larger, okay, and then I'm gonna copy this down and make a subtext. So you can write anything like a slogan, so I'm gonna just write less is more, which is quite true. And I'm going to choose another font for this. Can be anything. I'm gonna choose Acrobat Thin, just to have the contrast between two fonts, because that's what makes it interesting. When one font is like, you know, really thick and the other one is thin, or when one font is like sans serif and the other one is serif, and you know, it makes it more interesting that way. So you might want to do that. And actually, it's best to like go with like also contrasting sizes. So as you can see here, we have almost 8. Maybe make it more than 8. Let's see if I can work with that. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger, and this one down to 5, and just gonna stretch it out like that. Okay, I'm just gonna fill the space in so that they are symmetrical, kind of, and voila, that is your design. Have fun with it, share it, show it to your mom, show it to your friends, your parrot, your dog. Trust me, they will all like it. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, ask me any questions you have in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best. I'll see you guys in the next video.